Hey, this is James Reilman with Push the Lane, here with Nick Allen. Good news, I'm sure you've heard, D-Man is going to be casting IPL 5. We're really excited about it, but it does mean that, Nick, you won't have much to do except for drinking alcohol all weekend.
And I do that quite well.
That's fine.
Let me tell you.
All right, well, we're really excited this past weekend. Season 2 championships, it was a great tournament. Riot put on a hell of an event. And Taipei Assassins, we all underestimated them. You were pretty good with your picks. You had a couple of them through the group stage.
Well, I thought AZUBU for us was going to win 3-0, so I am never right.
That's true. Those are the rules. But TPA, you know, they really showed us some impressive stuff. We weren't really expecting to see that much. I mean, the thing was, I think people forget that Taipei Assassins, in some of these international events, they've kind of struggled, and we haven't seen a lot of them. So what we have seen, you know, they've looked good, but it was kind of a question of whether or not they were overrated. But as a team, they're phenomenal. Lil Balls is one of the most aggressive and dominant junglers. He really puts the fear, you know, into the enemy teams. Some of the Asian AD carries that we've seen in particular were really impressive with their positioning in fights. You see, they're just constantly getting off their damage at the edge of the fights, whereas a lot of other AD carries that we've seen, they kind of have to skirt around the fights and run scared. Yeah,
TPA looks extremely strong. I think Toys might be the best League of Legends player in the world right now, which is
he's that good.
It's that good. I mean, that's a little bit of a bold statement, but Stanley too, just two.
It's a bold statement for the guy that just won the $1 million Season 2 championship. I guess might be the best player.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He plays extremely well. He never dies. He has ridiculous sustain. He knows how to read his opponent, and the control of the map that TPA has is just unmatched. Their early aggressiveness is just extremely strong, and they're just a really strong team, as we saw at the World Championship. No one expected them to win. I think in my original power rankings, I put them as 15th place, last place with Saigon Jokers and SK. I didn't think they would do that well. Even though they weren't in the group stage.
The coolest thing with Taipei Assassins, and we had gone over this, is you look at the video, you look at the games, and all the minute details, all the decision making that goes into their thought process. They're not just kind of sitting around playing. A lot of times you watch a team and they're kind of like, yeah, whatever, I'm farming, you know, we'll fight later, I guess. But Stanley, I think you were about to say, in the top lane, there's times when there's a fight bottom, and all of a sudden you see him running across the entire map. You're like, he's not going to get there. There's no way he's going to get there in time. And then it's like, what the hell is he doing bottom? He's just got a triple kill behind the turrets. So it was a lot of fun to watch them. It was really exciting.
Yeah, they take risks, and they definitely pay off. What doesn't pay off is the North American teams, unfortunately. They are not looking very strong right now. So I think the only team to win a game from North America was CLG. They won one game in the group stage. That was it. So North America, something is going on there. They're not looking very strong. And I think a lot of it is rooted in the lack of competition in North America. When you look at Korea and Asia, there is 10s and 20 top teams. If you look at North America, there's maybe 5 that are really competitive, that this is their full-time gig. And because of that, the lack of competition is leaving North America in the dust.
All right, let's hold off for a second here, because let's be honest about the situation. These were all of the best teams in the world. This is the best League of Legends play we've seen in the history of the game, and that's all of the teams, the NA teams included. You know, even though they did fail, they fell short. The teamwork that we saw from the EU and Asian teams was just phenomenal. So there's no, disrespect, no loss of pride or anything like that to lose to some of these teams. That being said, we did see some really exciting things from the NA teams. I think you're right in saying, that it maybe is a lack of competition between them, but there were some interesting strategies. I think that, just when the pressure was on the line, they weren't fully practiced with them, and their strategies kind of fell short. And I think that has to do with the tournament setting. You have so much stress on you in the tournament setting that sometimes when you go for those risky strategies, you kind of fail.
Yeah, talking more on the strategies, I think I wanted a lot of cheese. I wanted it so bad. That's what I love to see. Really interesting comps, really interesting early games. But I think under the pressure, these teams fell back to standard play or slight deviations of standard play. So I think there wasn't a big strategy evolution at the World Championship. I think it really showed the strength of the support meta, the bruiser top, that kind of thing. So we're really just sticking around what these teams are comfortable with, and that's the standard play we've seen for the past year.
And I think that's kind of mistake, though, when you look at it. We've seen this standard play. I mean, it was most of the same champions that we've seen usually, but there are a number of changes. We're seeing different stylistic changes between some of the champions or players. Like we said, with Stanley, a lot of times he's losing his lane, he's losing in CS, but he has this roaming style where TPA, they're always looking for these early fights, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he's 5-1 and 6, and you're like, what the hell? How did that happen? And we're seeing early jungle invade strategies. IG coming over the wall. That was exciting. That was incredible. CLG NA, they had their incredible strategy. CLG EU, talking to Wicked, they actually said that they thought they would take that strategy and that it would be become kind of a standard thing where this is just like such a dominant playstyle. CLG NA, they came back. They took the minions before they hit the turret, and they took everything from them. Took the entire jungle with those aggressive wards. And I think a lot of those minute things are being kind of overlooked. These are different strategic things, roaming coming from Dignitas and a number of teams that are going to continue to affect the way LoL is played.
We talked about the evolution of strategy. Now let's talk about the evolution of esports in general. What does this event mean overall for esports? Is it a success? Is it, are we taking steps back? For me personally, I mean, the big thing was the live attendance. There was 8,000 people there, all paying, I think, $60 a ticket. So the willingness to actually put in your hard-earned money to go to these events is the really substantial jump for esports. Previously, I mean, you have a live event, it's free to get in, and it still doesn't fill up. So something is happening where people are willing to spend $60, $70, $80 to go to these events. Sure, I mean, you get an awesome Ryzen Tryndamere statue, but the live experience is becoming an unmatched experience in general. It's no longer just about watching live online.
And if you haven't been to a live event, it really is like nothing else. It's well worth the money to go, and that is the incredible thing, is the sustainable model, and that's allowing Riot to put the money back into the community, to put the money back into the players. Even though they're losing money, and they have said that. Mark Merrill in particular, he's made statements, and they're like, well, let's be honest, we love this, we want to support this, but by no means are we making money on this currently. But it is getting there, and that's allowing them to create a lifestyle, create a living for these players where they're real people now. They don't have to sit there and struggle. They can do what they love and actually make a living out of it, and that's really the impressive thing. And that's actually going to bring us to our last topic, which is LoL Season 3. Holy shit, the changes, masteries, jungle, item reworks, champion remakes. It's so exciting. We've talked about this in the past, how between seasons, Riot has this flexibility where they can just throw out all sorts of stuff, do whatever they want, and that's what we're seeing, and that's incredibly exciting. Jungle in particular, they said they're looking to probably make the jungle a little bit more difficult early, but then scale better as the game progresses. That's going to open up new item paths so that junglers, they don't become just that boring support. They can do more exciting things, and I'm really excited to see how this opens up everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked in the past about the imbalance of the bot lane on the blue side with the small golem, so I definitely expect some changes there in terms of making maybe the golems a little bit more difficult, spawning later, making it more balanced overall. But I think for me, the big thing was the item changes and the mastery changes for support. I think it was Morello that came forward and said, we're going to change the way that support masteries work, give new ways to get gold for support, new item builds, so it's not just the standard stuff all the time. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Wait, so you mean it's not just who's the AD carry, who's the top, and who's the mid, and they get to just badmouth the support and jungle all game? Is that what you're telling me? They're looking to change?
They sex change.
Oh, okay. Tarek and Ezreal,
yeah.
Getting some champion remakes. That is very cool. Like, that's the exciting thing, is that you can feel like you're playing support and jungle and actually have an active involvement in the team. There's a lot of things you can do that are interesting now, but to feel like you're more of a significant team member and open up a lot of diverse strategic paths. We could see the rise and fall of teams as a result of this, and we've seen that in the past, Season 1 with Fnatic, and I think that's something that, it's just going to be drastic changes. I am thrilled to death what this can mean for playing the game, but also competitive LoL.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to make the game a whole lot more fun, which I think is what we all want. So that's it, guys. That's Push Lane for this week. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week. I'm at Nick Allen, IGN.
At Baroncast. We really would love to see your suggestions. We're out of the Season 2. There's a lot of cool stuff we can talk about. We can debate some of these teams. So let us know. Tune in next time, guys. We love having you. Da 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 da. I heard this great tune over the weekend. It was fantastic.